You don't have a plan. You don't even try. I'm serious, Silas.
Yeah, I can tell.
I want a future. I want someone who wants one too.
Okay.
You're not ambitious. You're not enough.
Hey, beautiful. You free tonight? I've got a reservation at RPM.
Yeah, I am now.
Talk to me. How many did we lose?
Shut it down. All of it.
Don't wait for my permission. Just do it.
Rough day?
Not anymore.
Thank you, sir.
Almost heavy leverage, stability, but despigenides a mechabitis shadatil. You all right? You've gone quiet all dinner.
Better than okay.
Nice view, huh?
Yeah. We were supposed to be there. Last week. Remember?
Cancelled, thank God.
Later, I couldn't sleep. I scrolled through local blogs, found a thread buried on page 4. Sources say the hit was called off mid-execution, no names, just whispers. A text came through. Unknown number. He rerouted the crew. You're clear. I stared at it, deleted it, then restored it from trash. I woke up at 3 a.m. Damon was snoring beside me. I got up, walked to the kitchen, poured water. My hands shook. I thought about calling Silas. Just once. Just to hear his voice say, yeah, like he always did. But I didn't. Because I was the one who said he wasn't enough.
Have you seen him? He missed the board meeting. The investors are asking questions.
You weren't answering.
It's not safe, Zoe.
Safe from what?
The city's falling apart. Did you see the docks last night? 3 warehouses burned. No one's claiming responsibility.
It's just business.
Business. Baby, this isn't business. This is a goddamn war. And I'm caught in the middle of it. I thought I had connections. I thought I was protected. But every deal I've made in the last 6 months, every contract, every loan, it all traces back to the same place. To him.
Silas?
How do you know that name?
If you know something, anything, you tell me right now. Because I am not going down for some silent son of a bitch who thinks he owns the world.
This is what a man looks like when he's already lost. Let go of me.
Mr. Vito? Sir, it's Damon Pierce. I need to talk to you about the shipments, about the loans. Please, He hung up. He actually hung up on me. Backup generator.
Damon?
Where are you?
Lake House. Damon's. Off Route 41.
Stay there. Don't move.
Silas! Thank God! You're here! The power, the shots, I didn't know who else to call.
Get out. You called?
That's what makes them simple as soup chicks. Reports of a coordinated shutdown of hostile elements across the city.
Marco.
Where is he? Is he coming back?
Depends
On what?
on whether you're smart enough to stay put.
I didn't know.
No, you didn't.
Eat. Sleep. Don't answer the door. Don't use your phone. Don't exist until we say you do.
Hortatory contract awarded to Vito Logistics. Back in the bedroom, I noticed it, a small stack of papers on the nightstand, underneath the paperback copy of The Great Gappy, Simus's favorite.
Yeah.
It's me.
He knows you're awake.
How?
He always knows.
I want to see him.
You don't.
Why not?
Because if you see him now, you'll talk. And if you talk, he'll have to decide whether to keep you alive or make you disappear.
What would he choose? I walked to the corner, turned left, then right, then left again. I didn't know where I was going. I just walked. Past a bodega, a laundromat, playground with rusted swings. Everything looked normal. Like Silas Vito didn't exist. I ended up at a diner. Small. Neon sign flickering. Mel's. Black coffee. You're her? Who? The one he keeps in the house on Ada Street. He asked me to keep an eye on you, make sure you ate. When? Couple days ago. Came in here, ordered a slice of pie, asked about the neighborhood, mentioned a woman staying nearby, said if she came in, make sure she didn't leave hungry. He was here? Sat right where you're sitting. Didn't touch the pie, just drank his coffee, left a 20, told me to keep the change, then he left. Told me to keep the change, then he left. Man like that, you'd think he'd have a driver. But no, just him. Coat collar up, hands in his pockets, like he owned the sidewalk. Most don't. That's the point. He doesn't want the spotlight, just wants things to run smooth. And they did, until you left. I didn't mean... Doesn't matter what you meant. What matters is what you do now. Because he's not going to come looking for you. He already found you. Now it's your move. I sat there, alone, drinking coffee in a diner where the most powerful man in Chicago had sat 3 days ago, drinking the same thing, thinking about whether I'd eat today. Not because I was afraid, because I needed to think.
You're not as dumb as you look.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Man like that, he doesn't leave loose ends. He left you for a reason. Now you're figuring out why.
I didn't know. He knew you didn't. That's why he let you go. Not because you weren't enough. Because you weren't ready.
Ready for what?
To know who he is. To know what he does.
Every time you complained about the heat not working, he was the one fixing it. Every time you worried about your job, he was the one making sure the company didn't fold. Every time you wanted something, a new code, a better apartment, a safer street, he was the one making it happen. Quiet, without asking for thanks.
How do you know all this? People talk. You were his best result until you left. He doesn't crave power. He bears it. For this city, for the people who can't protect themselves, for you. Then why let me walk away? Because you wanted to. You said you deserved better, so he let you find out what better really means. But here's the thing, honey. He didn't stop watching. He didn't stop caring. He just stopped showing it. There's a difference. What do I do?
Time to become the woman who stayed, even if he never looked back, even if he never said my name again, even if all I ever got was the right to sit in the dark and know that the man who owned Chicago had once thought I was worth watching. Then I typed one word, hit send. Okay. The address Marco texted was a warehouse off Canal Street. Unmarked, no sign. Inside, concrete, high ceilings, the smell of motor oil and ozone.
You came.
You told me to.
Why?
Not why did you come, the root of it. Because I didn't know what I had until I didn't have it.
You don't pay me. You pay the city. You pay the people you put at risk when you walked out of that coffee shop and made me a liability. You want back in? Give her the files. Read them, memorize them, then burn them. If you want to belong to this city, learn who holds it up.
You're late.
7 minutes.
Late. You move like you're still asking permission.
I'm here.
Here isn't enough. Get in. Hostile assets. 3 crews. Moving product through the south side. Threatening witnesses.
What do you want me to do?
Listen. These are the businesses they're hitting. Bars, grocery stores, clinics, places where people like you used to shop. Go to them. Introduce yourself. Tell them you're there to help. You don't get a gun. You don't get a title. You get a phone and a list. And if you flinch, if you hesitate, if you make one move that costs one civilian 1 night of sleep, you're done. No warnings, no second chances.
Now I was going back to tell her she didn't have to be afraid because the man she'd never met was the reason she'd never had to be.
Yeah?
This is Zoe Marlowe. I'm coming to your location. Don't shoot.
Boss said you'd call. We'll be ready.
Don't flinch. Okay.
You?
Mrs. Nguyen, I'm Zoe.
I know who you are. The man who fixes my freezer when it breaks. The man who makes sure the boys on the corner don't bother my customers. The man you left.
I made a mistake.
Mistakes cost. He came by last week, told me someone might come asking questions, told me to tell the truth. Said if I lied, he'd know. He said you'd come.
I know I can't, not alone. But I know who can, and I know how to reach him.
There's a list under the register. Names of the ones causing trouble, times they come, what they take. Take it, give it to him, then come back and tell me what he says.
You're thinking too loud. You didn't flinch.
No.
Good. You understand what these mean?
Yes.
What do they mean?
People live in fear. The city is hurting. You've held it together while I chase something brighter.
You're partly right. These are more than lists. They're promises. To people who'll never know my name. You never break them.
I won't.
Everyone slips. What matters is whether you come back after you do. Marco, get team set. Strike at dusk. Tell those crews be gone by sunrise or they don't survive. 5th floor East Wing office. Files inside. Study them. Start making calls. I'm tired of carrying this city alone.
Understood.
Where to, boss?
The office. East Wing, 5th floor. Hold them. Interrogate.
Boss said you'd say that. You're still here.
I'm still here.
The crews are gone, for now. They'll be back, they always are. But tonight, the city sleeps.
Because of you.
Because of us. You did the work, you collected the lists, you made the calls. I just provided the framework.
I see it now.
Do you? Seeing it isn't enough, you have to live it. Every day, in the quiet, in the dark, when no one's watching, when the city's burning and the phones are ringing and the only thing standing between order and chaos is a man who doesn't want the job but can't walk away from it. Can you live that life, Zoe? Not for me. For you.
I can. I will. Because the alternative, going back to a life where I don't know who's protecting me, where I don't know who I am, where I don't know what matters, that's not living, that's just existing. And I'm done existing.
Lock up when you leave. Key stays on the desk. You'll have your own soon.
I woke up at 5:15, not because I had to, because I wanted to. The safe house was quiet, gray light through the blinds. I made coffee, the same way Silas did, 2 scoops, filtered twice, no sugar, drank it black. The bitterness grounded me. At 5:47, I walked out, no coat. The air was crisp, my breath fogged. I took the stairs down from the EL, same 11 flights I'd climbed yesterday. My legs ached. Good. It meant I was moving. The office door was already unlocked. I pushed it open. Silas was at the desk, reading a file. The lamp pooled light on the pages. He didn't look up when I entered, didn't greet me. I hung my coat on the rack. Raj sat in my chair, lower now, adjusted to fit. Pulled out the morning reports Marco had left in the inbox, shipping schedules, hood light cleats in the margin, the same way he did.
South side?
2 calls from business owners, both thanking us. One asked if we needed anything. I told him no, that we'd check in next week.
North side.
2 incidents, graffiti on a warehouse yesterday, broken window at a clinic, Marco's, the same way he'd acknowledged that cleanup knowledge, everything, with work.
Good.
We walked west, through the industrial corridor, past the rail yards, past the warehouses with no windows, no one spoke, past the men they just, just stepped aside, let us through, like we were a current they didn't want to interrupt.
You're the one from the papers.
The ones he left.
Took you long enough to figure it out.
I figured it out.
Did you? Or did he let you?
Both.
Good answer.
You're learning.
I'm trying.
Trying isn't enough. You have to know. Know the streets, know the people. Know the difference between a threat and a nuisance, between a promise and a lie. Between a man who'll break when you press him and a man who'll break you.
I know the difference now.
Daily summary. Ma'am.
Thank you, Marco. 6 months. The city to forget it had ever been on fire. 6 months of files and foot trolls, of silence that didn't need filling. I like these days.
Front desk. Visitor. No appointment.
Name?
He won't give one. Says you'll know.
Where?
Zoe.
You're not cleared. Protocol is clear. No visitors without clearance.
He said...
I heard what he said. What do you want, Damon?
I need help. Everything. My business is gone. My accounts are froze. I'm staying in a motel off the expressway. I can't get a job. No one will hire me. They all know I crossed
You didn't
him.
cross him. You never knew who he was.
I know that now. I was stupid. I was wrong. You're somebody now. Please ask him for a second chance.
Take a break. 5 minutes. You want a second chance?
Yes, please. Anything. I'll do anything.
You want me to ask the man who begged me 6 months ago to let you breathe again? After you paraded me around like a trophy? After you called him a waste of space while you shook in the dark?
I'm sorry.
Back to the office. Back to the silence. Back to the work.
Heard you had a visitor.
Handled.
Good.
Not because Silas had crushed him, because Damon had crushed himself.
You didn't call me.
I didn't need to. You went out?
Needed air. City looks different when it's covered, like you can't see the cracks.
They're still there, just hidden.
That's the point. Sometimes hidden is better. Gives people hope it's fixed. Marco's retiring.
When?
End of the quarter. He's got grandkids in Phoenix. Wants to see them before he's too stiff to hold them. I need someone to replace him.
You have someone in mind?
I do. Someone who knows the streets. Someone who knows the files. Someone who doesn't flinch when the lights go out. Someone who understands that this isn't about power. It's about keeping the cracks from swallowing the people who can't see them.
I'm not Marco.
No, you're not. Marco was my shield. You're my partner. He said it plainly, like he was stating a fact about the weather, like it wasn't the most significant thing he'd ever said to me. It's a different job, more paperwork, less shooting, more listening, less talking. You'd have to be the one who says no when I want to say yes, the one who reminds me why we do this when I forget. It also means you'd have to stop being the woman who walks beside me and start being the woman who stands with me, in front of me, sometimes, especially when it's hard. It also means you'd have a key, not just to the office, to everything, to the decisions, to the consequences, to the life.
Okay.
We'll start the transition next week. Marco will show you the protocols, I'll handle the portfolios, you'll handle the people. And at dusk, we'll still walk the streets, together. The snow will melt by morning, the cracks will show again. But maybe they won't look so deep if we're both looking at them.
Maybe.